Hey guys, welcome back. I'm really excited for today's video because I get to finally talk about the Plum Blossom EP, mxmtoon's debut album, and technically I started first in the last video, but because I'm going in chronological order, the grouping didn't work out. Also, as a cool little side note, while I was doing research for this video, I found out that the Plum Blossom is actually supposed to represent the beauty of perseverance and hope during transitional periods in a person's life, which, I mean, yeah, it does resemble some of the themes of this EP, but I'm pretty sure that was unintentional and I'm being a pretentious nerd. Anyway, the first song up is Cliche, and for any long-term mxmtoon fan, this is an absolute nostalgic classic. It might be a little dated, as a lot of her early songs are, but what it lacks in refinement, it makes up for it in its absolute charm. The narrative of this song is based around the romantic cliches that are often used to describe falling in love or developing a crush, you know, like the significant first encounter, butterflies in your tummy, all that kind of stuff. I really like the way Cliche is written. A lot of mxmtoon's songs have a sort of diary entry feel to them, but Cliche has a really refreshing take on it, because instead of being composed of just abstract thoughts or sentiments, Cliche is a full-on story being told. Alright. It's a style that mxmtoon doesn't use very often. The only other song that I could think of that comes close is Myrtle Avenue, but even that one doesn't paint as clear a picture or is as specific. In Cliche, the way she could describe the situation I can imagine perfectly, so in that way it succeeds. The lyrics are also really sincere and down-to-earth, full of that hashtag relatable teen factor that she's come to be known for. Speaking of which, this is a really mild song. Not that that's a bad thing. I think it works out for the best here. It's really soft and lighthearted. Her singing is just as good as always. The production is pretty minimal, but what is there is really effective. I really like the background vocals, and the melody is good for mxmtoon to sing this story to. Hey look, we have an actual intro. The story is the most interesting part about this though, and at first it doesn't seem too impressive, like yeah, it's about a person falling in love and then realizing it wasn't going to work out. It's very much similar to The Idea of You. I like to think of them as sibling songs because of how well they fit together thematically, with the major difference being in The Idea of You, that person singing did fall into that pit of despair and got their heart broken as a result, whereas in Cliche, the person was able to keep one foot in reality and see the situation for what it really was. I think that's a nice and uplifting message, you know? Like, it's fine to let yourself get swept up in your emotions and fantasies, but you need to be able to take one step back and look at things objectively, and it also doesn't even have to be painful. Sometimes knowing the truth can be sort of relieving in a way.
And that's all we were, a silly cliche. I still think you're cute, but maybe it's better this way.
I love Cliche, man. It might not be the best of the best she has to offer, but it's a song that perfectly represents the style of early era mxmtoon, despite the fact it's in Plum Blossom. I know Feelings Are Fatal is sort of hailed as the best mxmtoon song there is, and it's true, I'll get to that later, but not every song she makes is as amazing as Faff, and Cliche is much more accessible to new listeners. It's a great introduction to the type of music mxmtoon makes while still having some unique things about it that set it apart. I wish she made more songs like these because her diary entry writing style really lends itself well to this kind of storytelling technique. I guess the only thing left to talk about is the instrumentation. I really like the progression and the way and the pace she plays. She said in a video once that she thinks the song is rushed, but I don't know, I think she makes it work. I especially like how she hangs on and emphasizes certain words. It makes it feel really kinetic and snappy. I don't know what this is. Cliche is a nostalgic classic for sure, but still a good song on its own merits. Next we're going to talk about a song that's actually the giant cliche. The Sidelines. Okay, look, I get that occasionally mxmtoon wants to make cheesy love songs, and I got nothing against that, but this legitimately isn't very good. Let's get this out of the way first. Sidelines is generic as hell. It contains the same narrative themes seen in several other mxmtoon songs, not wanting to get in the way, putting other people's feelings before your own, not wanting to be a burden, all that stuff. I know it's not fair to compare these songs, but I'm only bringing up their similarities. This song has distinct elements. It has an original strumming and picking pattern, which I'll get to later. Sidelines just doesn't really have anything that sets it apart from her other tracks. It's worse than I Miss You, because that song I could kinda see as an experiment, and while it wasn't very remarkable, it was still a solid song. The Sidelines is bad. It's not very well written. Let's start with the small stuff. Like I said before, The Sidelines doesn't have that many unique qualities, but there's also just Not much going on here in general, no sound effects, sparse background vocals, it's mostly mxmtoon's voice and her ukulele. I, for the life of me, can't figure out how she managed to stretch this to 3.5 minutes.
So I'll just wait on the sidelines. I'll just wait on the sidelines. I'll just wait on the sidelines.
Please Don't was also really slow and repetitive, but it actually made me feel something. This is just actually bad.
I'd rather not go ruin what we have by making a big old fuss.
Also, according to Genius, you know, that website that is basically just Wikipedia for music, this song has a bridge. Multiple, in fact. These are the lamest bridges I've ever heard. The lyrics are more nonsensical than usual, and mxmtoon has always sort of been that way. Like, sometimes she'll just have a really out-of-place and unorthodox line that is actually pretty cool and stimulates a deeper level of thinking. Not in this, though.
Being with you, it's so unfathomable. Oh, it's also unimaginable. Oh, it's also unfathomable.
Also, is it just me, or does the beat of the Sidelines sound way slower than any of the other pre-Blossom songs? I don't know, it could just be my totally immature and unjustified bias against the Sidelines, but I don't know, it feels like it stalls more. Okay, seriously though, if you really enjoy this song and it's something that really resonated with you, then I'm happy for you, really I am. I would never want anyone to feel bad for liking something, and I'm glad that you enjoy it. Most of the insults I hurl, honestly, are hyperbole. I've heard detractors of mxmtoon's music say they don't like it because it's the same boring, angsty ukulele malarkey every single time, which I disagree, obviously, but in a way I can kind of see where they're coming from. A lot of her music does reuse a lot of the same elements, and while her songs have definitely evolved over the years, they all still radiate similar energy. However, mxmtoon is an extremely intelligent artist that is able to challenge her audience with gripping emotional complexities, and she manages to do it in such a genuine and passionate way. And this is on top of her already being a skilled musician. The Sidelines contains none of the nuances or charm that makes her music so great. Is it fair for me to completely trash this song so harshly for committing the grave sin of just not being that remarkable? Probably not. I guess if we're being completely fair, Life Online is technically a worse song, and The Sidelines does have some really good aspects to it. I don't think I can talk about the actual quality of her melodies, at least for her early music, because, yeah. Usually I think of her melodies as complementary to her lyrics, see if they match the tone or the message that's being conveyed, or whether or not it provokes an emotional reaction from me, or if it's at the very least catchy. For what it's worth, I think the melody in The Sidelines is good. It goes well with the vibe I think she was trying to go for, and it's something that I always appreciate whenever I go back to this song. I also like this.
People try to help me out, but I insist that I'm fine. But I'm not, 'cause you're here, and my face is red from ear to ear.
That was beautiful. Beautifully sung, beautifully written. For the first mxmtoon song I didn't like, it honestly wasn't as bad as it could have been. But Wallflower is a song that explores the themes of being someone in the background way better. And if you want to listen to just a good cheesy love song mxmtoon has made, Myrtle Avenue and 1-2 are both amazing. Hell, even I Miss You. That just leaves our last song, and do I need to even say anything? Its feelings are fatal, guys. One of her most iconic, if not the most iconic song she has ever produced, and rightfully so. This is a spectacular song. And hey, we actually have a music video this time. I really like it. It gives me that nostalgic feeling of looking out the window during long car trips, being lost in thought for hours, which fits the introspective nature of Feelings Are Fatal. I remember when the song first started to blow up, I came across Faf through those mixtape YouTube channels that had these wonderfully minimalist aesthetics to them, and I absolutely loved it. It came out at the exact right time while I was growing up. I was experiencing new facets of the world and finding new ways to express myself, and it wasn't just me. A lot of my classmates were also like, Whoa, you listen to mxmtoon too? She's so cool, right? It was a nice time. Enough about that though, let's actually talk about this song. The pace of this song is perfect. Everything here is concise, from the subtle integration of background vocals, of which there is actually plenty, to the increased reverb on her ukulele. It all helps create this beautifully solemn atmosphere. It also accompanies the main vocals perfectly, and God is her performance great. I've already gushed about her singing plenty of times before, so I'll just let you listen.
I'm happy for you, I'm smiling for you, I'd do anything for you, for you. It's always for you and never for me, and I need it to stop, so let me tell you, please.
She just sounds so gosh darn authentic in this song, and did you listen to those lyrics, son? They're amazing. The rhetorical structure of Feelings Are Fatal is something that really fascinates me, and I mean really fascinates me, because she incorporates elements so counterintuitive to her own writing philosophy, and she somehow makes it work. She actually uses metaphors, and I'm sure she's like used metaphors in her other songs, and even still now, but it's never been as important as it was here. Feelings Are Fatal is an incredibly powerful metaphor, and she implements it in such a versatile way.
Though I'm always sad and I'm always lonely, I could never tell you that I'm breaking slowly. Closed doors, locked in, no keys, keeping my feelings hidden, there is no ease.
I know the official explanation for when she says feelings are fatal is that she's worried that opening up about her negative emotions will damage or burden her relationships, but with the way it was written, it could also be seen as her saying that bottling up her emotions is already killing her inside, or possibly that their built-up emotions are already affecting them by making it scary to open up and trust people, consigning themselves to a fate of perpetual self-repression. All three interpretations could work, but even if everything I said was totally ludicrous, it's still brilliant writing because of how perfectly it encapsulates the overall themes of the song, which encourages multi-layered thinking. That's the emotional complexity I was talking about earlier.
How many times must I keep it inside? I need to let go, and I swear that I've tried. But opening up means trusting others, and that's just too much, I don't want to bother. So I'll keep it inside, and I'll bury it deep. I know it's not healthy, but you won't hear a peep.
Anyway, yeah, this song is pretty sharp. She's still very straightforward. The first verse of the song just straight up tells you what the deal is. In Feelings Are Fatal, she never really gives you the context of why she's feeling that way or how she's feeling it, but you just sort of get it. Like you watching this video, if you listen to the song, you will understand what she's talking about, I guarantee it. And that is astounding, how she's able to form an emotional connection to the listener so succinctly, like she's a psychic and can read all our minds. This song should have failed. This song should have just been an experiment that would have faded into the depths of SoundCloud because of how she tries to genuinely mesh two diametrically opposing writing styles to deliver an emotional message, but she succeeded. And I think she succeeded not just because Feelings Are Fatal is a well-produced, well-written song, or because mxmtoon is an amazing singer, but because Feelings Are Fatal is a genuine piece of art that came straight from the heart. This really is a beautiful song. Heck, all of them are. Even you, Sideline, I'm hard on you because I care. I sometimes think about the lasting power these pre- and Plum Blossom era songs have. Her early work will always be something that's special to me, and although some of these songs might be dated in the future and might not resonate with as many people, I have complete faith that Feelings Are Fatal will be eternal. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.